very pleased to present Scott Anderson tonight.
Well, I am happy to be here with you tonight, and it's quite an honor to stand in front of you behind the shark. So you'll have to tell me if they get a little too close. But I want to start out by almost giving you a book report of this book. And I know that you heard from Aaron earlier today, but as I read Aaron's book, The Purpose Economy, I was thrilled to think that we are in the transition to a new economic model. And as he in his book traced the history of the world, going from the agrarian economy to the industrial economy to the information economy and now on to the purpose economy, I thought how exciting this is. And let me read you one of my favorite quotes in the book. He said, "The recent economic recession brought with it a need to find stability and a future path within ourselves rather than from an employer. This shift has placed meaning and purpose at the heart of the contemporary workforce. Purpose rather than career longevity now provides the stability we need." And then he quotes two workplace researchers, Paul Hartung and Brian Tabor, who said, "Rather than fitting self to jobs and readying self to develop a career, workers must now focus increasingly on constructing self in work, rather than advancing self in an organization." I think it truly is exciting to think that we stand on the potential summit of a new age, awed by a great and solemn sense of history, of where we've come from, and what we must do to reconnect with each other, and to create a sense of purpose for life and being. As we move toward this new dispensation, given what we have and what we know, we ought to be a better people than we are. In a sense, we have the power to begin the world anew, to make the world better for more, with increased civility, honesty, and peace. As we move from an agrarian economy to an industrial economy, we mastered machines and technology to make ourselves more efficient, more effective, and more productive. In the movement from the industrial economy to the information economy, technology brought new aspects to the workplace and the human place. As Aaron noted in his book, labor in the information economy became increasingly segmented into narrow and functional roles. The more narrow our work became, and the more specialized our focus was, the need for more improved communication and information systems exploded. Information drove the process and controlled the movement of events. We were now in the business of information, Aaron noted, and it was the ability to create and manipulate information that ruled the day. The explosion of technology means that we can access both ancient records and modern texts on our computer. In fact, if you were at the Sundance Film Festival 2 years ago, you might have seen the documentary called The World of Google, which basically told of Google's attempt to put everything that had ever been written on their system. And we know more about each other because of Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. In fact, we may know too much about each other because of those things. But this access to information means that we are no longer strangers. Privacy is a fading phenomenon, and fewer people seem to care. However, in the process of this connectiveness with everything that has been written or everything that has been thought, in this age of having millions of Facebook friends but never meeting them, and in this period of where you can put up a YouTube video and see it go viral around the world, the irony is that we are becoming more isolated with less human understanding and interactions. We can access more than what we want to know. We have more options than we can digest. Yet with all this information at our fingertips, we are less satisfied, as the polls show, with life than ever before. We secretly seek more than greater output and productivity. We crave more than unlimited information. We simply want to know that we are needed, that there is purpose in our existence, and that we are making a difference. Though death may be our end, we want to ensure that our life has relevance and that by living it well, we will leave this world a better place. Hence the movement to the purpose economy, in my thought, that it is centered more in self than it is in business, and in feeling that there is a purpose in our actions than in driving a strong return. We are all familiar with numerous stories of success among those who in a very real way live the American dream, achieving significant success and amassing immense fortunes. Names like John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, Cornelius Vanderbilt come immediately to mind. These early captains of industry constructed a bold vision for modern America and transformed the greatest industries of our time, including oil, rail, steel, shipping, and finance. However, I would suggest that these men are most remembered for what they did with their wealth than simply that they got it. We don't remember them simply because they were rich. There are countless of men and women who amassed immense fortunes whose names we have forgotten or never heard about. However, those we remember are those who have stepped outside of themselves to build something of enduring value, something that gave their life purpose, and something that made our lives better. American novelist Chuck Palahniuk wrote, "We all die. The goal isn't to live forever. The goal is to create something that will." In a letter written by John D. Rockefeller to Andrew Carnegie, he commented, "I would that more men of wealth were doing as you are doing with your money. However, be assured your example will bear fruits. The time will come when many men of wealth will more generally be willing to use it for the good of others." This, I believe, illustrates that one of the engines driving the purpose economy is the need in humanity to feel that their life is worth something, that they contributed something of meaning, and that after death they will not be forgotten. The desire for immortality is alive and well with us today. Going back to the purpose economy, Hearst noted that the purpose economy has the potential to connect us in a more authentic, meaningful ways, rather than isolating us. And we have come to need this connection more and more. As we talk about this purpose economy, I would suggest that Utah is uniquely positioned to lead out. My feelings on this come from two general thoughts. First, our founding as a state, and second, our culture of giving. We are all familiar with the story of the Utah pioneers who first were driven by purpose and then by prosperity. The history book records their trek across this country as the largest human migration in history. By 1869, approximately 70,000 pioneers had walked or traveled in wagons across 1,300 miles to find the Salt Lake Valley. These pioneers were not seeking wealth or prosperity. That was not the purpose of their journey. They ultimately found it, but it was not their first objective. They came for a purpose. They were driven by religious freedom. They wanted to create a new society, a new civilization in the wilderness. I believe that Utahns are driven prosperitarians, if I could use that word and if I could say it. But what allows them to become prosperous purpose is that they are first purpositarians. Utah really is the right place, and we have an opportunity, even an obligation, to lead out in this new purpose economy. So what does this mean for business? I think it means that the guiding principles of business must be to create value. Value for their clients, value for their communities, value for their employees, and value for their shareholders. Think about that statement. In this purpose economy, the goal of business cannot merely be to make money or generate productivity, to generate revenue. The goal must be to create value. Success will come, but it will be directly connected to the value the business creates in communities and for clients. As we create value for our communities and clients, we in turn create value for our employees. And as we create value for our employees, we create value for our shareholders and investors. It has been said that a rising tide lifts all boats. And what rises the tide is a quest for greater purpose. When we look beyond ourselves and beyond the financial statements, we find meaningful purpose. The secret in this philosophy is that in doing this, we often find the prosperity that we are seeking. In an enlightened and flourishing society, in the age of the purpose economy, we need to test the envelope of human creativity and connect business with people and communities with the arts and culture. We need to produce, but we also need to motivate and to unite. And I think this will be the magic circle of success in this new economy. We seek innovation, we promote creativity, we foster collaboration, and then we support volunteerism. We patronize the arts, and we contribute to worthy causes. The end result is that our lives and those of our neighbors are enhanced, making Utah even a better place for us and for our friends to live and to work. And as individuals, we will feel more fulfilled. In this age of computers and machines, we need, as David Rockefeller said, to find a measure of consolation and reassurance to our individuality, a measure of beauty and human emotion that can reach out and move most people. This is indispensable to the achievement of our great and underlying concern for the individual, for the fullest development of the potential that's hidden in every single individual. I really think that this conference is important. And I think the panel discussions that we've had give the key to Utah's future economic success. That by paying for success, that by developing purpose in what we do, by having passion for our actions, we will have a better life and a better place to live. Thank you.